he has not sent any messenger to any people except that he spoke the language of the people to make it clear.
The people.
The lingo, the dialect,
the
Ebonics. To make it clear to them.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Real Talk Deen and Dunya. I am one of your hosts, Mustafa Talib.
And I'm one of your hosts, Abdurrahman Talib.
And I'm one of your hosts, Ayman Talib.
And today we have a very special guest. Today we have with us Imam Muhammad Abdullah. Jazakallah khair for joining us today, sir.
Welcome.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am not one of your hosts. I am the Imam of this podcast officially because I claim to be the Imam of the people, and these here are people. So I must be the Imam.
We the people have declared ourselves.
And so,
Ayman, thanks for having me.
Yes, absolutely.
Course,
so, Ayman, please introduce our guest today.
So the topic really is what we're going to be going into for this. I want to preface this conversation. I wrote some points down that there are a couple of hard, stubborn facts about America's inception, in spite of the great ideas that America was founded upon, or the USA was founded upon. Number one, before the USA was founded and throughout its existence, the genocide of the Native Americans and the theft of their lands. And number two, also before the USA's founding, the enslavement of many peoples from Africa, the Caribbean, and other places around the world, and the continued systematic racism and other forms of discrimination against all non-WASP adult males. And there's different, every one of those has different aspects in history that goes into that. Muslims in America today are experiencing a unique flavor of this prejudice, religious discrimination, racial discrimination, and political discrimination, the latter being viewed as a replacement to communism, as a threat to capitalism in our democracy. So this is kind of like, this is like the framing or the preface of our conversation today, because this is all very, very relevant to what is happening to our community in this era that we're in.
Right. Could you go back and, I don't know, the word, when you use the word WASP, what is that?
White Anglo-Saxon Protestant.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
nice.
So it's going to be one of those episodes, ladies and gentlemen. Buckle up.
Yeah. So the full context. So non-white Anglo-Saxon Protestant adult male, and I want to throw in there capitalist.
So the acronym
because one thing that
WASP. I don't know.
So I don't know how you want to abbreviate that or acronym that.
Can I buy a vowel? So, what are your thoughts, Imam? Like in your perspective, in your like your background, how you see everything coming up to this point? What do you make of all of this?
Absolutely correct. I think history, if not carefully studied, is bound to repeat itself. And what America is trying to do right now is whitewash history. I was just on a Zoom call, actually a conference about the rewriting of history in public schools, in the curriculum, and how to try to change how slavery is viewed, how Native Americans and their land was stolen, and the genocide that you mentioned. And it's a really dark history. And if we don't understand it, reflect upon it, continue to keep it alive in our memories, we're bound to repeat it. And the history continues to repeat itself as we speak. What we see happening to Muslims in America is only a repeat of what already happened to other groups of people. And it's always perpetrated by one group of people historically. And we can get into that a little bit more, but just to answer your question directly, I think history is a valuable tool to understand how to proceed in the current moment. It's like looking at a map at a mall. First thing you do is have to find out where you are, and you reflect upon where you came from, and then you can have a better understanding of where you should be going in life. And the thing is, we're trying to erase where we came from. So we don't know where we are. So of course, we're not going to know where to go.
Right. And I think this is very relevant, especially when talking about, like, we want to use the analogy of South Africa, for example, right? Or even Germany in the last century, right? after acknowledging, recognizing, accepting this is what happened, right? Instead of whitewashing, denying, whatever, it's like, okay, this happened. Own up to it. You own it. And then how do we move on? You can't move on, or you can't move forward if you don't accept what had happened.
Not only accept it, but it's a crucial issue that we're still fighting for, which is restorative justice.
Yes.
America has paid reparations to many groups.
Yes.
But they never have paid them to African Americans.
Sure.
Paid it to the slave owners who lost their slaves.
Mm-hmm.
They paid it to Jews for the Holocaust, which we had no part in.
Right.
They paid it to different Native Americans, obviously, different groups of people, but never African Americans. And that restorative justice is also part of the process of not only owning it, but paying back the debt that you owe to the people who literally built this country on their backs.
Right.
Yeah.
100%.
Abdurrahman, what do you think?
I really like what you said about the looking at a legend of a map, because you have to know where you are in order to move forward. You have to, in order to see where you want to go, you got to know where you are. You have to acknowledge the things of the past. You can't, like everyone's been saying, we can't whitewash it. We can't just kind of sweep it under the rug and say, well, that was 100 years ago. That was 400 years ago. What are you still talking about? That's an argument that keeps being, spoken and shared all over the place.
It's in the past.
It's such a long time ago.
Yeah.
And then
slavery ended in 1963.
Hey, but listen. Never forget.
Right.
Which one?
Never forget.
Never again.
Never forget. Never again.
For whom?
For a certain group of people.
See, yeah, it's like
WASP.
If somebody says I can't, it is like, no, you can't call me a racist. I like black people, or I have black friends. It's like, time out. Are we restricting not being racist towards black people as a definition of being a racist? Right? Or is it for every person that is not of the same color as you? You see, this is where the idea is that it happened to one group of people, and the principle should apply to,
and it should never happen to any group.
Never happen to any other group. We should learn that lesson as an exercise of history and never do it again to anybody else, not just that one group that experienced it.
Yeah, but what you're talking about with the WASP in modern day context, it's privilege.
Right.
Understanding that even though you didn't enact slavery on somebody else, you privileged from a system which did.
Yeah.
And as long as you're white, American, Christian, male, all of those type of privilege, class, and sex in our society, you continue to privilege from that slavery that happened to other people. Right. And if you're not actively fighting against that system to help people who are disprivileged or underprivileged due to no fault of their own, like they were born
obstacles that that's what we mean by privilege, that you don't have those obstacles in your way.
Man, just pull yourself up by your bootstraps, bro.
You don't have no boots at all. What about that?
So I'd like to quantify or qualify.
Usually you qualify.
I would like to qualify the statement that this whole is like, it's like when someone says that, you white person, you white male, you are privileged in this regard, right? It's like, well, what do you like? It's like for them, because they live in their own world, they have no idea what you're talking about, what the frame of reference is. So, do we have an example? Do you have an example that you can extend? You can share?
Oh yeah, personal example: racial profiling.
Let's go.
Yeah, when I was young, we would have a statement called DWB. DWB. I don't know if you guys ever heard of DWB.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Muslim, so I FWM. So
yeah, similar, right? DWB means driving while black, right? So if you could imagine, back in the day, not too long ago, but some time ago, I had dreads. Right now I'm bald.
Oh Lord!
So there was
5 years ago, not that long ago.
Yeah, 5 years. Let's just say 5 years ago. It still happens today. So my son has dreads, and the same thing happened to him. And I used to ride around in my hoopty. I like old school cars. And I'd always get pulled over. Always. I'm talking about always get pulled over. Don't care what I'm doing. I'm getting pulled over just because of racial profiling. And there was a lie that I told myself, because I'm young. There's always going to be something they can, ticket that you didn't pay, or maybe your registration is late. Maybe you had a light that's out, whatever the case may be. They find an excuse to pull you over. I said, you know what? If I just had everything right, I wouldn't have nothing to worry about. And then as I mature in life, later on in life, I become an adult and start paying my tickets and getting my registration, make sure everything is taken care of.
You start adulting.
I start adulting, yeah. Which other groups of people, particularly white people, have much more leniency when it comes to adolescence and teenage mistakes that than we do. We get pulled over, we go to jail. Everybody I knew grew up, went to jail for minor infractions, for a joint or something. When other people on the other side of town, that'd get thrown over. They wouldn't even get pulled over in the first place.
Right.
So you can look at, some people say, well, black people commit more crimes, but for the same exact crime committed, there's stats that show how much more time we receive for the same exact crime committed.
And before that point, like you said, like, to be pulled over to begin with,
Be pulled over to begin with.
suspicion that was already there.
Already there.
So as you can put your hands down. No, I know how this works. I reach down, I get 6 warning shots in my back.
Exactly. Our parents teach us how to interact with the police.
Right.
There was a man, was it The Hate You Give? Right?
Yeah.
They sat them down at the dinner table, said, here's what you need to do if this ever happens to you. Step 1, step 2.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. I had this talk with my son.
Right.
And so fast forward later on in life when I became an adult, everything is right. Still, I get pulled over. And this time everything is right, but they'll plant something on you to make it wrong.
Really?
They'll plant something on you to make it wrong.
Shocker.
To justify the pullover, to justify the
prison industrial complex.
Yes.
There's slaves right now in prison who do work for the state, getting paid $2 a month. Yes. Getting paid $2 a month. This is modern day slavery. The prison industrial.
That's the 13th Amendment. It's written, it's within the law. It works. It's still there. It still checks out according to the law.
So when you don't have to face this is just one example of racial profiling. Let's not talk about jobs and housing and healthcare and education, all of those things, but just racial profiling stuff. When you don't have to face that, you don't have a record, right? So you grow up without a record. You made the same mistakes. Like white people, they smoke weed just as much as black people, but black people are so much more likely to go to jail for weed violations. So you don't have that record. You've never been to jail. You're not set back. Your fathers are in your home because they never went to jail and went to prison. So you go in a 2-parent household, which makes you statistically more likely to succeed. You have money for college because your parents didn't experience the same racism and prejudice that my parents did. You're generational people who graduated from college. A lot of us are the first people to go to college or graduate from college in our family, not because we're unintelligent, but because education was always restricted from us. And so when you have this head start, it's like going around the race twice. You've already two laps, and we just started.
Have you seen that? I'm sure y'all have seen that video, and it's like there's a guy that has like maybe 50 people out like on a line, a football field or something, and it says take a step forward. We're all gonna have a race. Yeah. Just take a step forward if you had both parents growing up. Take a step forward if he just goes one after another, and then by the time you see this disparity, and it's pretty clear disparity. There's one defining characteristic, and it is that most everyone who is forward is white. Most everyone who is back is black, brown, other races. And again, it just goes to show, just like you're saying, it's like they have the head start, and it's through no fault of their own. It's just there's a system in place that's keeping people behind, and it's doing its job.
And pushing others forward.
Let's not kid ourselves. It's pushing. It's doing exactly what it's designed to do.
Correct.
Which is hold certain groups back and to push other groups forward.
Man, I mean, clever. It's wrong, but clever.
I remember when you said about the planting thing. I remember Dave Chappelle's his little bit about this, and he's like, it's so surprising how many people have cocaine in their cars from your traffic stops. And he's like, well, I don't know what to tell you. And
yeah,
it's a little bag. That's literally what he says.
Sprinkle here and there,
right?
It's probably long.
Yeah. But the interesting question I think I want to delve into as we move along in the conversation is, what do we do about it? Because it would seem like we're saying that all white people are bad,
right?
And there's there's a lot they can do about it,
right? Before we go into that, let's bring this to let's bring this conversation to our community specifically. How this prejudice is affecting the Muslim community. So you said, DWB, driving while black. Okay, now let's go to
flying while Muslim
or living while Muslim. I don't understand.
In the same context of travel, post 9/11,
right?
It's flying while Muslim.
We have the FWM, which is the flying while Muslim.
Sure.
Yep.
So just like you had to talk with your kids about how to interact with the police. We had to talk, and by show of example from our parents, how to act at the airport. right? That's real.
Because we just love to travel.
Mm-hmm.
We just love all the time.
I got the special security, special,
special screening.
The super special
security screening.
Yeah.
The super special security screening. Had that on my, for a while.
Yeah. Before
and
us.
the best part is when I was, this was right after I graduated college back in 2011. And we were heading overseas. You and I were heading overseas with Mom and Baba. We were going to visit relatives in the Emirates.
Yeah.
In Dubai. And, of course, I got flagged and you were with me and Mom and Baba had gone through and they said, okay, just meet us at the Admiral Club or whatever. And I said, okay, that's fine. But, I got flagged. And so I had all the extra searches and like, we can take you somewhere. I was like, bro, I got to go. Let's do this thing. It's okay. It's fine. And so the whole time he's doing it, I'm whistling that song by CeeLo. It's like, I see you driving around town with the girl I love. And I'm like, yeah. So I'm whistling and he hears me whistling this song and he's like, okay, I see what you're doing here. And it's fine. I'm going to let it slide. It's okay. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my way of fighting back because I whistled that song as much as I could. And then whenever I had the chance, there was a time we flew to California for something. I forget what it was, maybe to visit your in-laws. I'm not sure, but we needed to pray. And I was like, where are we going to pray? And I was like, boy, I'm going to pray right in front of the security checkpoint. I'm going to pray right here. And I'm like, Allahu Akbar. Everyone's like this. We got a full-blown Muslim here.
Yeah. It's awesome.
FWM, flying while Muslim, man.
Yeah.
What I'd like to call it is JBM, just being Muslim.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's our only crime is just being Muslim. And I think
So what are the experiences that you as an imam are seeing? I mean, we experience it and we're privy to what happens, right? But you as an imam, I would imagine you are more privy. You have more fingers on the pulse on the situation. Could you just give what happens as a just like growing up black and you're still black, obviously, it's like, but you know what I mean? Like,
you can't switch it up. You can't switch it up.
Yeah.
Wait, you're black and Muslim? Oh my God.
Too. And I'm Hispanic too. My mother's Cuban.
That's right.
SubhanAllah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, my mother's Cuban, my dad African American.
MashaAllah. So so having that, let's talk about that. Like, just like you talked about what it was like being black growing up, what's it like being Muslim in this world?
I think we have to understand the historical context, and I'm just going to take a trip down memory lane just for a minute, and then we'll get to exactly what it's like today.
Beautiful. Let's go.
Yeah. America was established on prejudice and racism.
Yeah.
And it was always perpetrated by a specific group, which I hinted on earlier, Christian nationalists. Ironically, they were fleeing religious persecution from Europe when they came to America to establish this land. And then they protested against the British government, who required them to pay taxation without representation.
Mm-hmm.
But then when they established themselves as an independent colony, actually the first, I want to just throw this in there, the first country to recognize the U.S. as a sovereign nation was Morocco.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the Sultan named Muhammad Abdullah.
Allahu Akbar.
You're welcome, by the way.
I'm sorry. Let me just say this out loud. A Muslim country or a Muslim state that was governed by Islamic law, a Muslim society, was the first. There was Sharia. Okay. Sharia. No. Right. This was the first political entity that recognized the independence and recognized the United States of America as a legitimate sovereign nation.
Yeah,
better recognized.
You can Google that. I mean, it's well known.
Documented.
Well, it's documented, not well known.
Oh, let me throw this into the mix. Just like, and also like, on the steps of Capitol Hill or the Supreme Court, I believe it's one of the two. They actually have, subhanAllah, statues of the top lawgivers from all throughout history.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then they include on there Musa alayhi salam, right? Moses, for the 10 Commandments and the law of, the law of Bani Israel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they also have on there a statue of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And what law did he bring? Ladies and gentlemen,
Sharia.
Right? So it's recognized and it's honored on U.S. soil on one of our most quote unquote sacred buildings. Although we would object to him having a statue, right? But nonetheless, it is still coming from a place of recognition and honor.
Yeah, exactly. I think the Constitution was put in place to protect America from Christian nationalism.
100%.
America understood that Christian nationalism was and is the biggest threat to American safety. 30% of slaves that were brought from the shores of West Africa were Muslim.
Yeah.
Kunta Kinte, you ever seen the movie Roots?
I grew up on this.
We talked about it extensively on the show.
Yeah,
yes.
Before I was introduced to Malcolm X's story and the film and all that, I watched the Roots series.
Yeah.
You know, like that's my mother was like, this is
you gotta watch this.
She told me this is your history as a Muslim living in America. This is part of your history. Learn
Beautiful lady. May Allah preserve. I'm so happy she gave you that.
And
we need more of that.
I mean, okay, I got 5 kids, right? Every one of them, I held them up to the moon. And I said, behold, the greatest thing that is greater than you. Right? Behold, one thing that's greater than you. Allahu Akbar. Did that with all my kids.
MashaAllah.
We're living in America, man. I feel like I gotta continue that legacy.
You gotta know the history, man. Yeah. Ibn Sa'id.
Yeah.
Or the autobiography.
I have his autobiography on my shelf. Yeah.
Bilali Muhammad. The Bilali document, which is preserved in the University of West Georgia.
Yeah.
A fiqh document, Maliki fiqh, in Arabic.
Right.
This is a Fulani scholar that came to America and preserved his deen as a slave.
SubhanAllah.
Thomas Jefferson had a Quran.
Yeah.
There was an iftar in the White House.
Right. During the founding fathers' presidency.
Come on. La ikraha fi din. There's no compulsion in religion. That was the foundation of the Virginia Statute, which gives us the freedoms of religion.
Yeah.
And what they were trying to protect America from was Christian nationalism. Not Thomas Jefferson, but James Madison has a quote, which I just want to put right here and then see what you guys think about it. He says, James Madison says, who does not see that the same authority which can establish Christianity in exclusion of all other religions may establish with that same ease any particular sect of Christians in exclusion of all other sects. So what they were fighting against was to have this one brand of Christianity, which is Christian nationalism, one brand of Protestant Christianity, one brand of evangelical Christianity, which then dominates the other brands of Christianity and therefore subjugates them to prejudice and oppression that also exists for any other religion. He says that the Jew and the Gentile, the Christian and the Mohammedan, he said the Mohammedan by name, the Hindu and the infidel of every denomination shall be treated equally under the law. This is the foundation of America.
Yes. And the colonies, the 13 original colonies, were literally carved out. The state lines were carved out based on the dominant subscription of the flavor of Christianity or different forms of Protestantism, right? So one was Catholic, one not Catholic, was Protestant, but that's a bad example. But like, so the Quakers, the I don't know if Lutherans were around back then, but like Methodists and what have you, all the different denominations of Christianity, the shapes of the colonies were because of the majority population of that one denomination, and it proved that within Christians, subhanAllah, within Christianity, that they could not live in peace and harmony among themselves with a Christian nationalist or with the church in charge. That's the bottom line.
Exactly. That's good. That's why Thomas Jefferson says we should build a wall of separation.
Yes,
not between Texas and Mexico, between church and state.
Yeah.
To keep the church out of the state's business and vice versa, because they couldn't agree. Because
this was constantly. I mean, there was at that point almost 2 millennia of history showing it was not going to work from a Christian paradigm.
Yeah, they had seas of blood in Europe, and that's what they were fighting from. That's what they were fleeing from. So let's move to modern day.
Yeah.
So what does Christian nationalism always do? They find a scapegoat. They always find a scapegoat to say these people are other, they don't belong. At first, it was the Native Americans, and they misuse and misrepresent the Bible to do so. They use manifest destiny, which is a terminology that is the precursor to Zionism, actually.
Right.
The belief...
God wills it.
Yep. God has given the Western lands to the Christian white people of America. And it is God's destiny for us to conquer these lands. So therefore we can genocide the natives. Manifest destiny, look it up. And then they use the curse of Ham. They use the curse of Ham against Africans to continue to perpetrate slavery against my ancestors.
Right. So Ham, for the audience who don't know, Ham was one of the 3 sons of Noah, Nuh alayhi salam, the prophet Noah, peace and blessings be upon him. And he was the father of the Africans
Yeah.
of the human race. Go on.
Yeah, and because he was black, supposedly he was cursed in the Bible, and that meant that slavery was supposed to be inflicted against the Africans.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, the United Nations just voted on the gravest crime to ever exist in the history of human civilization. Every single nation except for 3 voted that it was transatlantic slave trade. You want to know who's the 3 that did it?
I have. I know 2 of them.
Go ahead.
I know 2 of them. 2 of them. Well, one of them is the United States. One of them is Israel, and the third one is Britain. No.
Was it on this side of the hemisphere?
It's on our side. Yeah.
Oh,
Just a puppy of the U.S.
Canada, where the Canadians
Canada?
live?
No.
Mexico?
I think Argentina.
What? What?
Yeah. It's South America. I'm pretty sure it's Argentina.
Were they taking their oil?
Yeah.
It's not
Venezuela.
This is the gravest crime in the history of human history.
Yeah.
Human existence. The transatlantic slave. Why? Because it was a different type of slavery,
Right.
which separated, which was a generational slavery,
Right.
which was, inherited, and then families separated, and then names and cultures so they forced my people into Christianity.
Right.
So Christianity, or white Christian nationalism to be exact, always has a scapegoat. It was the natives, then it was the Africans, then it became the Irish,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and it was the Italians.
The Irish were literally called the N-word on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got guapo names for Italians.
Yeah.
Like
They call them
Italian niggas,
they call them a W word.
yeah.
I don't want to repeat that on the show.
Yeah. I mean, I can say the N word, but for the sake of the show,
Yeah, let's not.
Keep it PG.
I won't say that. I won't.
Yeah.
Even though I slipped it in for a second, but I don't think anybody caught me.
It's all right.
I didn't
Roll
catch
the
it.
tape.
Good job.
Roll the tape.
Yeah. So
I was going to ask
Go ahead.
prior to
I wanna get
answering
there.
how did it slip in? How did white national Christian
White.
national? Oh my God, I can't talk. How did white Christian nationalism slip in?
I don't think it ever slipped in.
it's a bloodthirst. It's a thirst.
This is an
But like
underlining.
the slow
this is an
rise to
underlying
power,
thing,
the
though.
slow gain, the
It's the
The
Great Freemason
Empire.
Project.
I think what Abdurrahman is saying is that it's always been there.
It's always been
the
there.
foundation of
It's
this.
always
even from the founding fathers.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, some of them saw that this was an issue.
Mm.
Thomas Jefferson, James Madison,
Right.
they still were slave owners too.
Yeah.
The hypocrisy
I
was
mean,
there.
George Washington, right? He had 200 slaves, and he had it in his will that he was going to free all of them, or upon my death, they're going to all be free, right? But nonetheless, he recognized the evil of it, and he still kept it on because he was
Status
benefiting
quo.
from it.
Yes. They didn't know that they were fighting for us today in our rights.
Mm.
They were fighting to protect themselves from other branches of Christianity dominating them and their freedoms.
Right.
But it applies to everybody
So it
else.
was about power, and it was about economy. I mean,
always
this is
about
all
money.
like
Look at every time they used it to expand westward. They wanted more land. They wanted more power. They wanted more control. To enslave Africans. They wanted to build this country on the free labor.
yeah.
Right.
And now they always see the numbers. When the numbers start rising for a specific group, they start targeting that group.
Mhm.
The Italians were coming in. It's like, oh, it's too many Italians here. We're going to become like.
We're gonna
They did it
we're all
even
gonna
for
be around.
Catholics.
Right.
Yeah.
In terms of religious.
There's a party that was in Texas. It was called the Know Nothing Party. Because anytime you ask me about it, I say, I don't know nothing. It's called the Know Nothing Party.
Okay.
If you ever heard of a man named Sam Houston.
Oh yeah.
Great statue.
He was yeah, exactly.
On the
down
way
there, if you go-
down-
down
going-
45.
Yeah.
If you go down to Houston, you'll see a statue. He was famously part of this Know Nothing group or party that made it exclusionary to non-Protestant Christians. So Catholics, they were very discriminatory against Catholics. They thought that Catholics were going to take over. This is a Catholic takeover. Don't Catholic my Texas. That was part of their slogans back in the day.
Wow.
And that
Sounds too familiar.
they said if there's too many Catholics in Texas, we'd end up paying homage to the Pope.
Right.
And that was a whole and that was a whole thing even in more recent times with
JFK.
Kennedy
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
a Catholic. There was a whole like, is he going to follow the Pope whenever the Pope makes a decision about this, that, the other, or is he going to keep things separate the way it's supposed to be?
Where there was a questioning, they were questioning his loyalty.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, just like they question Muslims' loyalty.
Mhm.
Are we going to be loyal to the Quran and Sharia, or are we going to be loyal to the U.S. Constitution? They think that that's a choice we have to make.
Right.
When it's not, they both coincide.
That's the funny thing
Yeah.
is that when you when you like as you know
But
growing
then-
up as Muslim being number one identity, because I mean I don't think anybody can any person of faith shouldn't disagree with this. Your faith is your number one identity, because after you die, you know
how you're buried.
it doesn't I'm not going to deal with the government
God
anymore.
first. They understand if you say God first. If you say Muslim first, it's somehow a problem.
Exactly. So growing up Muslim, right? It's like, okay, so you're gonna learn what are the rules I am gonna be playing by on this court, right? And then what's this court that I'm playing on? It's America, right? So these are the borders, these are the lines, this is where I cannot transgress in this context. So how can I apply the rules of God as taught in my faith on the American playground?
Kobe.
This is the so how can I I can sink a three-pointer from here. I can this, that, or the other. Completely different rules if I'm in a Muslim majority country or a country where they do apply Islamic law, which today there isn't one. Let's be real.
Malaysia?
No. I will die on this hill. There is no
Malaysia?
country.
Indonesia?
No.
They're not called they are
Muslim
state.
countries.
They're
By
Muslim
majority of the population.
Just as much as America is a Christian country, in that it is that the majority of the people are Christian, but it is not that the country is Christian.
The laws are not big rooted
Right?
in
That's not. Yeah, it's like what 79%
separation of church and state. But when it comes to us,
the laws,
they think it's
You have all of these Muslim countries.
One or the
Muslim
other.
countries out there.
The haters believe that for us Muslims, as the same argument was made for Catholics, it is going to be one or the other. Where do your loyalties lie? And we're over here saying
it's none of your business.
We pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. We've authorized. We did the oath of authorization for those who have been naturalized.
Yeah.
And you already have to sign this document, which says that your allegiance is to this country.
Right.
And to obey the laws and the Constitution. We already did that.
Yeah. So the question is like, make us choose one or the other. And we're over here like, isn't it too much to ask for both? See?
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, well, what's the problem?
But I think that if we also...
You're ugly.
We also need to...
and you smell.
like goat.
We need to have a deep conversation with ourselves too, because like we have a segment of our community which is like, well, I don't know, American. They think twice before they will say the American for good reason, maybe, because they don't
associate with the negativity.
I think a big part of it is because especially those who, I'm gonna speak for those who immigrated here. I'm not gonna speak for those who were born and raised here, who think that way. Because there are those who are born and raised here that do think that way. I'm not going to speak for them because I haven't really interacted and had those conversations. For those who immigrated here, they are basically they're sucking on the cow's teat, right? They're here. They are they want to work hard. They want to make a lot of money and opportunities that they would never have had in their countries of origin. They were the best of the best to get that opportunity to come here to be able to have a materially successful life. At the same time, the foreign policies of our nation are making life detrimental, if even life at all, because let's face it, we're the ones that are making and producing and sending the bombs that are destroying their people of origin. So that's where the mixed bag comes in. So this is where it becomes incredibly problematic as far as loyalty.
Yeah.
Right.
Because a person's loyalty comes into question because you say, I disagree with what's going on right now. And they say, well, that's un-American. No, dude. The most American thing is to say, we can do better. That's what, we don't have the Constitution and that's it. There's this little thing called the Bill of Rights.
Yeah. The most American thing you can say is, I disagree.
The most is, and here's what we should do moving forward.
But you have to say that as an American, though. If you say, I'm an American, but I disagree. Like I say, this is my crap hole country, but I love it.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to fight to make it better. You have to start off with, I'm an American, but I disagree with this and this. If you say, well, I'm not American.
I'm an American,
I disagree.
And I disagree.
Yeah, they're not mutually exclusive things. And I think
people
that's
are not
the biggest
saying they're
problem,
American to start with.
Is that maybe one of the biggest problems? Is people think that it's a mutually exclusive thing.
Right.
If I say I'm this and I can't be
because to do or to conform to the agenda of the government is synonymous and equivalent to being patriotic. It's like, well, the argument is also like, hey, look, the patriotism, like would define patriotism? Is it based on the current politics of the day, or is it based on the principles, the ideal principles
that this was founded
that this
on?
country was founded on? That's actually why I deliberately chose to wear the Captain America T-shirt today.
Yeah.
Is because Captain America, like as a character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and even in the Marvel comics, right?
Do you watch movies?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was the character.
Not as many Marvel movies.
Yeah,
There you go.
the character, flawed as he is, is a symbol. Is a symbol of American ideals, or the ideals that America is supposed to stand for. Supposed to stand for. That's what the character is representing, right? So what we're calling for, what we call for, is for America to live up to its stated values.
As Americans, as long as we do it as Americans, 100%. I'm cool. But I ask a lot of people where they're from, and they say it's like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Some.
Sheikh, I'm born and raised here. I have no other passport. I never did have any other passport. Yeah. There is no ship for me to burn, right? I'm born and raised here. There is no back home.
I got my plot waiting for me.
Right here.
I've never referred to overseas where my parents came, the lands where my parents came from, never referred to it as back home. Why? And this was the only home I've ever known. Yeah.
No, I feel for people who have this dichotomy where it's like they're unsure. I feel for them. At the same time, we need to hone in on the fact that we're American Muslims or Muslim Americans, and that's our identity. And that's what we need to build and fight for, the land that we live in.
Yeah.
And I think
we're fighting for America's soul, honestly.
I think that so many people are they get so fixated on this, like almost like a dual identity kind of relationship. Like I'm Muslim and I'm American. And it's like, if I'm Muslim, everyone else says, I don't belong here. I'm not an American. Say, okay, cool. Not cool, but okay. That's fine.
I understand.
I understand. Cool. So then I'm American, but then it's like, well, but then my country's foreign policy and so many things that are happening here don't align with my convictions, my morals, the things that I've been taught, how to live my life, my values, and so I'm caught in this like weird.
Let's why do we have to stop with the foreign policy?
Domestic policy too. Sure. That's what I'm saying. Also,
since we started recording, we've been talking about America's history, long history of stubborn facts about the horrid facts that happened, like of the inception.
So why are we defending it if it's such on the foundation of?
It's because of this. It's because of the narrative that's been pushed for the last, for as long as we've been alive, and even longer than that. We've been like even I remember growing up and somebody I remember one time somebody said, oh, you're from Lebanon or from Syria. And he said, hey, man, don't. And one of my friends said, no, dude, he's cool. And I was like, yeah, my friend stood up for me. Instead of going, no, screw you. What do you mean I'm cool? Just because this is me. This is who your perception of who I am or whatever is, that's not what my faith is and not my identity. And that's some whatever. And like, that's so far off. And so I have always I remember growing up and being not as, I'm a lot less apologetic than I was before. I used to be like, I'm Muslim. Everybody knew me as the Muslim kid.
Yeah.
But I always almost, I don't want to say I downplayed it because I was just like, I'm just like, I'm here. And there's nothing different about me. I don't want to be viewed as other. And if you calling me Muslim makes you view me as other, then maybe I'm going to step away from that. But what we should be doing is saying, no, that's part of who I am. Yeah. That is my identity. Muslim is not other. Muslim and American are not mutually exclusive things. There's a very easy way for them to merge together, to be a cohesive thing. But again, there's a narrative that's been pushed and forced down us from the top down. Call it media, call it whatever, call it propaganda. That these things don't exist together, can't exist together. But we are living proof that they do exist together harmoniously and fruitfully even.
That's even better for the society.
Yeah.
That's the goal of Christian nationalism at the end of the day, is to make definitions and build narratives of who an American is. It's only one type of person, a WASP, as you said, white, American, Anglo-Saxon, Protestant.
Or even Catholic, because
But then Catholic had that process too that I just mentioned. Now the latest version of that is Muslims.
Right.
When they see a group of people starting to build numbers and power, even though we only make up 1% of America, how is it a Muslim takeover? 1%?
Yeah.
But they see in Texas, especially North Texas, They see the Muslims building, and it's not.
We're mobilizing, we're establishing, we're institutionalizing.
And what hurts them the most is that we're not on welfare.
Right.
We're not using the system. We're actually affluent.
Mm-hmm.
The message are who you.
Can we just talk about this for just for 30 seconds? Among the population of America, and I don't know the statistics on this, and I really wish I did, but Muslims are in the top whatever percent as far as educated, as far as entrepreneurship, as far as
generous,
as far as affluent, like
philanthropy.
Alhamdulillah, we're doing well materialistically.
Sure.
And because of that, we, as you said, in North Texas, and like this is like a talking point for so many people. If you look at 35, 40 years ago, 1, 2, 3 masajid. And now there's something like
60 in DFW.
No, I've been hearing 110, something like people. And maybe that number is a little, it's not just masajid. Any
Musalla.
prayer space, which includes a musalla,
sure.
somewhere upwards in the neighborhood of about 100. And this is terrifying to some people.
It is.
Because the Muslims are coming. Nah, bro, we've been
taking
here.
over our neighborhood.
They see the numbers. They understand that if people ever organize themselves, the people always hold the power in the society. But it's the elite that try to keep us divided. That's the biggest crime of Fir'aun, was that he divided the people.
Right.
When you divide the people, you can control and conquer them. So now they see Muslims growing in number, in influence, in status, in wealth, and that scares them to death, literally. And so what do? They create another scapegoat, which is a Muslim community. And how do they do it? How do they do it with the Native Americans? How did they do it with the African Americans? They use the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
So these godless, these heathens, these whatever.
Exactly. Right? So now, how are they using the Bible against Muslims? I don't know if you saw the interview with Senator Ted Cruz and Tucker Carlson.
Oh, I saw that. It was fantastic.
Yeah,
you saw that, right?
By the way, like nobody else could have done what Carlson did.
This is how they think, though. It's not just him, right?
Yeah.
He said, my number one mission as a U.S. Senator
when he was running,
support the state of Israel.
Yeah.
And he said, I learned that in church school growing up.
Yeah.
He said, my Bible taught me that.
Israel
he used
first.
Genesis 12:3. And this is another mischaracterization of the Bible. The same way they did Manifest Destiny. The same way they did Curse of Ham. Now they got Genesis 12:3. Whoever blesses you, Israel, will be blessed. That's what he says it says.
Correct.
But it doesn't say that.
Yeah.
It says whoever blesses you, talking about Abraham,
yes,
will be blessed.
Yeah.
Guess who blesses Abraham? Allahumma barik.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد
وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم
وعلى آل إبراهيم
وعلى آل in the family of Ibrahim. Whoever blesses Abraham will be blessed. He won't say that because he knows that Muslims bless Abraham at least 5 times a day.
They
if
know
you're really on your deen, 10, 20, 30 times a day.
Yeah.
Right? So another
We just got
miscategorization.
done celebrating Eid al-Adha, which is the living legacy of the continuation of Ibrahim alayhi salam and his practice.
And so why does he need to give so much support to Israel? And why does they need to scapegoat the Muslims in order to do that? The more that you make Muslims seem as other, as non-American, as incompatible with the values of the West, Islamification of America,
as
Sharia,
this foreign thing.
The more, yes, as this foreign thing, the more that you're able to propagate the genocide in Philistine and continue to be slaves to the Israeli government.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. We're just being scapegoated. So the only crime that we're committing is just that we're being Muslim. It's not because of Sharia. It's not because of we're building an epic city. It's not because of epic waters in DFW.
We're going to talk about both of those things in a second.
It's not because of any of that. It's just because they need to continue the genocide in Philistine and they need to continue unwavering support for Israel. And the more that they can make Muslims seem like they don't belong in America, the more they can get the people to co-sign that check because they need votes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about the history of Muslims living in America for a minute or a few, because there's no way we can do it justice unless you do a full dive documentary on it. Before America was founded, Muslims were already living here, right? Well, there's explorers who came, visited, left. But then you had those who lived here, right? Namely, those who were enslaved against their will, brought here. 30% of them documented. Muslim names, right? Scholars among them, right? So that was like before the country was founded. During the American Revolution, Muslims fought for American independence. During the Civil War, Muslims fought on the Union side and on the Confederate side, believe it or not.
Yep.
Right. So it's like, it's there, right? Our history is there.
Mm-hmm.
During World War I, right? Some, was it 10,000 or more than that? Just we can tell just by the names of people who enlisted in World War I, right? Muslims
For America.
Muslims
For
in
the
America,
yeah.
American Muslim soldiers,
Right.
enlisted, right? And then go on into World War II and so on. And this is all along the way, right? Let's talk about 2026. A safe number to say is 27% of Muslims living in America are Black American. Let's start there. Safe assumption, every single one of them, their families have been here since
For generations.
the inception of America, if not before.
Yeah.
That's a safe bet. So how are you going to tell me Islam is foreign in this country? So when we're talking about the history of Islam in America, right? You will not do justice to the story of Islam in America without talking about the contribution of Muslims or groups that call themselves Muslims in America. You cannot do justice to the subject, right? So namely the Nation of Islam movement, the Ahmadiyya movement, right? Although we have theological differences and disagreements, right? But nonetheless, the contribution to the Muslim and Islam name cannot be denied.
Yeah,
and you
course.
cannot talk about Islam in America without talking about those movements.
Of course. And they purposely try to deny that and, disconnect it, because part of what they're conflicting is that a Muslim is an immigrant or isn't a foreigner.
Right.
They don't highlight the stories of Muslim legacy Americans. When I say legacy Americans, you understand, I'm talking about natives who have been here for generations.
So someone like you or looks like you is quite literally a threat to that.
To that narrative, yes. So they won't highlight the stories of African American Muslims because that would be counterproductive to the narrative that they're trying to spin, that Muslims are immigrants and are foreigners and then we need to get rid of them. They won't highlight places like Philly or New York or Chicago where there's a lot of African American Muslims, Atlanta, Georgia. Texas seems to think that Muslims have just immigrated here in the 90s. They don't understand that we, like you said, we have been here since the inception of America because it's counterproductive to their narrative of foreign immigrant. And we Muslims play into that. I'm going to tell you how. Now I got to get on the Muslims. I'm sorry.
Get on
I got to
us.
keep it real.
Get on us.
All of us.
Real talk.
Real talk.
all of us.
REEL. Go ahead.
All of us. Because we have done a terrible job at putting as our representatives the voices of Native American Muslims, indigenous Muslims to this land. You go to any country in the world that's Muslim, these Muslim countries, you go and seek their representatives. Who represents them in the government? Who represents them in the media? It's always going to be somebody from there.
Yes.
Allah says in the Quran, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِن رَسُولٍ
إِلَّا بِلِسَانِ قَوْمِهِ لِيُبَيِّنَ لَهُم.
لِيُبَيِّنَ لَهُم.
Yeah.
Right? He has not sent any messenger to any people except that he spoke the language of the people to make it clear.
The people.
The lingo, the dialect,
Yeah.
the Ebonics. To make it clear to them. So when look,
Thank you.
you gotta talk the talk.
Yeah, that's good.
So when we see the representatives of Islam in America by organizations, and they always have an accent,
Yeah.
and they always just immigrated a few years ago, what do you expect the American people to think?
Right.
I'm like, oh, he's not from America. He's a foreigner. Why haven't we prioritized? I'm not saying there's religious scholarship that we need in our schools, in our madrasas and whatever. Those need to be, we need that knowledge that may have been imported.
You're talking about the public facing.
The public facing, yes.
Yeah.
We talked about that before with some of the people in our community who had been dislodged from our community, let's just say that, for certain reasons. We need to prioritize the voice because we're doing it ourselves. What do we expect them to do? We expect them to go look for the American Muslims and be like, oh yeah, those are the real Muslims. When we ourselves don't put the American Muslims in the spotlight of our organization.
And the most famous American Muslim, like far and away, it's not even a contest, right? Muhammad Ali. It's not even a contest, right?
Today in America, would we prioritize the voice of Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X as a Muslim community?
100%. May Allah have mercy on both of them.
I don't think we would.
Yeah.
We should be like, we should.
We should.
But what this? I'm talking
But
about
are
this.
we?
Yeah, this American Muslim.
They're walking amongst us, honestly.
Yeah, who said there's no Malcolm X's
You
amongst
see
us?
what I mean?
Who said there's no Muhammad Ali's amongst us? Did they have the most knowledge of the Quran?
We don't need it for that. For that function, you don't need it.
Yeah. Did they know did they memorize a hadith from?
Again, you don't need it. There's a function.
And here's the crazy part about it is that this is the approach that we take when this is not the approach that the Rasul ﷺ took.
Yeah,
it's not at all.
Khalid Walid, he was a Muslim for 5 months.
Literally was thinking about his example, and he was reciting. And I don't remember. And please, if you guys know the story better, please just jump in. There's a story about him leading the army in Salah, and it was a short surah, but he was making mistakes, and he was approaching. Said, what's going on, buddy? Like, he's like, my mind is. I have a mind. But I am getting myself ready for what's about to come. And that's my thing. So if you need somebody to lead this up, please. Right?
Yeah.
That's not me. I will do the battle, the strategy. That's me.
That's a general function.
I will do this, but I will not. To lead the army in Salah is not going to be you're going to be all whatever. But
I think that's an exercise of self-awareness, knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses, and putting out there and being comfortable to admit, like, no, this is not my thing. Forgive me, but this is not my field of expertise. Instead of trying to play like cool, like, oh no, I'm so, don't you know who you think I?
Yeah,
do you know who you think you are?
Yeah. Let's bring it back to Imam Muhammad and your point that you're making, that we don't need our front-facing.
Our PR should not be
doesn't need to be a scholar.
Yeah,
he doesn't need to be a scholar. Doesn't need to have all most of the Quran or or a lot of these, like the 40 Nabawi hadith collection memorized. Or it'd be nice.
Yeah,
but it's not relevant.
Maybe he knows it, and maybe he knows it in action. Right?
Yes.
Knowledge isn't only theoretical; it's practical.
Right.
A lot of people ain't out practicing the Deen. Malcolm X was out there practicing the Deen with the people in the streets. And so if we want America to realize that 25 to 30% of Muslims are indigenous Muslims, we have to realize it ourselves.
Sure.
Recently, I saw an interview. Shout out to Islam in Spanish. Mujahid Fletcher. He said, we have the best product, the worst marketing. Or sorry, the worst packaging.
Okay.
We're horrible in PR for some reason. Even though we have the tools, we have the skills, we have the knowledge, just gotta put it out for the people to take it in.
To make it digestible?
Take it in.
Yeah.
I think there needs to be a test when somebody is made to be the public relations persons of an organization. Like,
trainings.
Yeah. Are you American? Where are you from? For number one, where are you from?
America.
Where you from? Where you from? Where you from? America. America. Where you going? Where's home to you? Brooklyn.
Denton.
Yeah, Denton. There you go.
Texas.
Dallas, whatever the case may be. And, because we have a generation that's coming up, which is honing in completely on that American identity. And and every other country understands this. Anywhere, it's just that we've come to the West instead of UK and America and other Western countries where we can set up anybody can set up a mosque. So everybody wants that power for themselves. But in other places, Bangladesh, Pakistan, West Africa, Saudi Arabia, there's so many knowledgeable scholars in Saudi Arabia.
But they're all
but look, I'm talking about from all over the world though.
Fair
Nigeria,
enough,
whatever. Okay.
Yes.
But when you go to Medina and Mecca, who's leading Salah?
Do you want the blunt answer?
Yeah.
The puppets of the KSA.
I'm saying, but they're national. Those are the representatives of Islam in that place.
Sure, they are. So they are KSA nationals.
Sure, exactly. That's my point. Even they make sure that it's their people. They're not going to have a Nigerian, even if not Nigerian is the best reciter in the world.
Mm-hmm.
He won't be leading Mecca.
Right.
It will be there
because it's under KSA control.
Yeah.
Right.
And every other country
the kingdom of Saudi Arabia, so that everyone knows.
Not the
YouTuber. Now I'm not saying
like
that
KGB or whatever.
Let's not be clear. I'm not saying that's right because the person with the most knowledge should lead the salat. But the point is, the representative of the religion and the deen in the country will be a KSA citizen, and a Bangladeshi citizen will be in Bangladesh, and a Philistine citizen will be in Philistine.
They will be they will be their own imam of the people.
Yeah, the person who speaks the language of the people.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got to speak the language of the people. I can't go over there talking about sound like I'm ak. It won't work.
No.
Will it work?
Not over there.
They won't let me.
They just look at you funny like.
I had this coworker.
You can come over here and say, "What's up, brother?" You're the face of America. That's the equivalent of sound like I'm ak.
Yeah.
Right.
Brother, put me in the media and I sound like I'm ak. Let me be the KSA representative.
I had this coworker that he ended up leaving our campus for a few reasons or whatever, but I still see him from time to time because his wife still works at our campus, and so I saw him twice in the last 2 weeks for graduation and like a celebration of our seniors where they were signing day where they were going to say like we were going to college, and so I saw him from far away and we had this thing going. So he's from New York originally, so he saw me, he'd be like, "Yo, Ak!" Like, "Yo, my Ak, what's up, brother?" Like so he knows because he's like, "I'm Brooklyn,
it's part
bro.
Of the culture.
Bro, that's right." And so he sees me. He even like will text me Ak, like he goes OCK. And like that's not how you spell it, but it's all good, brother. It's all good.
He's trying.
Right.
Points for trying. Trying.
All right. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this conversation. If y'all did, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Imam Muhammad, thank you again for joining us for this conversation.
Join us for part 2 coming soon.
Coming up next, inshallah. I'm one of your hosts, Mustafa Talib.
I'm one of your hosts, Abdurrahman Talib.
And I'm one of your hosts, Ayman Talib.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Assalamu alaikum.